of View is a new game from Haba, and it's a series of games. I'm talking about Point of View Lost Places here. This is a game in which you're going to have a big shield, which is going to be your point of view, and then working together.
All right, I don't want to spoil too much of this. I am already don't worry about it. It's not going to spoil the game. But each person is going to have a big folder piece, which is going to show their point of view of the island. So this is the south facing north. Here's the north facing south. They're opposite, but they show very different things. I'm not showing you the other two. Don't look at that very long. And then you're going to open a box of cards, and there's 4 of these boxes, and they'll give you some story, but occasionally they'll ask you a question like, what time is it? And working together, you have to figure out what time it is. And so you just go through these, and each of these questions will give you a certain amount of stars for points. And you might run across some weird cards that do other things. And that's pretty much all I can say without spoiling it. You're just going to go through and try to answer as many questions as you can.
Yeah, so this is the game in which I can't really talk too much about without spoiling, although it's not particularly spoilery. But you're on an island in this game, and how did you get to this island? The game does a pretty decent job at walking you through a story. In fact, sometimes you will go and talk to someone, and maybe you'll go in a building, and then there will be a card that shows the inside of that building, which will be given to one of the players from their direction. Sometimes cards are given to specific players. And then answering the questions. Like a question might say, how many birds do you see in the sky? Well, I can see 3 birds, and Julie can see 2. Well, then that makes there's 5. Do we see the same board? So the game is all about communicating with each other. You want a game that forces people to communicate. This works really well. And I like this. I think it works good for kids. It works well for adults. And it's going to be interesting. They recommend there's 4 chapters. And they recommend after each view to rotate the board so that you're not looking at the same thing the whole time. And you'd be surprised at how much you will miss on your own board. This game gets a 7 out of 10 from me. It would get a higher score, but unfortunately, the actual art on the board isn't that great. I really think they missed one here. They could have made these just gorgeous looking things. It almost looks computer generated or faded out. The front of the cover looks great, but the boards themselves, I think sometimes we would struggle from issues like, I think I know what that is, but it's a little smudgy. I just wish it was just much more clear. Maybe that's done on purpose to the theme. They almost have kind of a Lost TV show type aspect theme on this. But still, I like the whole idea. You can go through it. When you're done, you're probably not going to want to play the game again after you go through it 4 times. But each of those times will take 45 minutes to an hour, probably. And that's you're going to get a lot of thing out of it. And you just give it to someone else to let them play. So I'm certainly interested to see the other point of view games. This one's enjoyable. Like I said, my only problem is I wish the art was better. But it does do something different, that's for sure. That's Point of View Lost Places.